So with this device, I was finally able, over the course of 2 hours, to figure out how to flash Meshtastic onto it. I had been reading through forums and stuff. I just flipped the switch. There's the beeps. And finally figured out how to flash Meshtastic on it. So what I'm going to do is walk through how to do that, is how it functions. So this is called a Chatter 2.0, as made by the brand Circuit Mess. What's kind of cool is it's made for kids, so it comes in a kit. Where did I put that box? Right here. It comes in a kit, so it's all disassembled. When you open it, it has all the little papers and all the little pieces and step-by-step instruction, stickers. And they say it's for kids, but I'm realizing it's actually a lot more than that. So that's kind of cool. I ate several of these probably. I think I bought these apparently it was sold at Sam's Club. Don't know for how much originally, but I got it on a steep discount at a store, which I think the way their business operates is they receive overstock and or discontinued items. Circuit Mess Chatter 2.0. And what's kind of cool is after you has cute graphics. It says each page there's an activity. You can color me. Has a content, gives a little bit of history. Why can't I turn the page with one hand? Come on. Talks about what it is. Gives a little bit of history of computing, which is kind of cool. All the pieces it comes with. Talks about etc. etc. Talks a little bit about various electronic components. And tells you that it comes with an ESP Room 32. And when I looked it up, that actually has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in. And then it goes through all the different assembly instructions. You do it twice for each one. It comes with a cool little firmware, cute little firmware for kids. You can also use it with circuit blocks to make your own, to learn how to code and make your own programs, emojis even. Talks about icons. And you can text. You have to friend people. You can even do simplified meme face. So this is what the software looks like. Oops, I guess it turns off after a certain little while. Standby mode, but you turn it on. It runs off of AAA batteries, 3 AAA batteries. Has a cute little splash start screen, boot screen, I guess you'd call it. And then it has a couple of options. Games, settings, blah, blah, blah. You can see some messages. It gave the name Sarah, but I don't know anybody named Sarah. It was just the default name that was given. You can see we no longer need to pay for cell phones. I wish. So that's how that works. If you look at some of the games too. That's how you look through your friends list. You can change your own profile. This person's name is Michael. Oops. Games. You can see there's Snake, Space Invaders, Space Rocks, which is a version of Asteroids, and Boink, which is a version of Pong. So pretty well featured firmware. Lots of capabilities. So what we're gonna do now though is I'm just going to unlock it. Nope, the lock button's over here. I forgot about that. It's over here. Yep. So this is the other one. And when I opened it up and I saw that it has, as mentioned, ESP32 WROOM32. It also, I was like, wait, if it has a LoRa connectivity, what chip does it have? There it is. A DreamLink DL so DL-LLCC 68-S. Right now it's a little bit slow because it's connecting to my phone with Bluetooth. But once it's up and running, it's pretty quick. You can see all the different pages here. I turned off the GPS, but I guess these pins, you can attach a GPS module, which usually has a compass built in. What else we got here? Come on. You'll see all the different things here. tells you the uptime. I just turned it on. 55% battery. Come on, no clients connected. It's probably connecting right now. Takes a little bit. But here we have a clock which synchronizes once the Bluetooth device is connected. There you go, 3.81 volts. Meshtastic 1414 is the name of this device. It says 0 online. It's been up for 1 minute. No messages. Distance. Last heard. Cycles through different logs. And there's bearings. I still don't know what that means. But there we go. It should say clients connected. I don't know why it's taking so long for my phone. Maybe it's because I'm recording. My phone's super hot. It is hot here in Southern California. All right, you'll see finally it says client connected, BLE, which is Bluetooth Energy. First thing you want to do is turn on your circuit mess. What is this called? Chatter. Let it boot up. Then what we can do is we can connect it to the computer, USB. This is USB-C. The other end is USB-A. And you might see here, and Windows, right here, you can see it. Ports, COM, USB serial. So we've just successfully connected the Chatter device to Windows. First, you want to make sure you're on a Chromium-based browser. So I'm using Edge, which is based on Chrome. Or maybe, is this Chrome? I'm on Chrome. I'm using Chrome. I'm not signed in, that's why I was confused, sorry. You go to esptool.spacehun.com. That's esptool, T-O-O-L dot space spacehun.com. I'll put that link in the description. And then you click connect. Here you'll see that COM6. That's the Chatter device that I've connected to the computer. Mind you, this is a device that does not yet have Meshtastic installed in it. So we'll connect to that. It's connecting to the device. You'll see that if it's connected and successful, you'll see that here. Zoom in a bit. So now it's connected. It tells us a little bit of programs. You'll see here, this is preloaded. You might see some other stuff. Let's see if I already said, yeah, this is what you'll see the first time you connect to your device, because these are the files saved into the memory slots on the device, specifically the ESP32 chip. I just deleted them all. That's what I did. And then to get the correct Meshtastic official firmware release, what you do is you go to Meshtastic, GitHub page for Meshtastic. And then you'll see here on their page they've got the firmware. What we do is we click on the right side, releases. This is the most latest release. On this page they give you a description of the release and all the updates. Scroll down past the description and you'll see a bunch of assets here. So what you'll do is you'll click on firmware ESP. Let me zoom in. Too much. You click on firmware ESP32. Not the ones below it, not C3, not C3, not C6, not S3, just the topmost one, ESP32. When you click it, it'll download. I've already downloaded it. So we'll open that folder here. You can right click that and extract all. I have 7-zip installed, so I just right click, hover over 7-zip, and then I move to extract to firmware, which I've already done. Here in the extracted folder, you'll see a bunch of files. And what we are looking for is the one for the Chatter, so Chatter 2 specifically. I'm using a file explorer called Directory Opus, also known as Dopus. So I have this easy manner of copy full path names. And back in the browser, in the tab for ESP Web Tool, we will add. It'll create 0x. We select it. We click on select. It's going to open up a file browser. And you want to make sure you choose Chatter 2. Not the update.bin, just the Chatter 2. Click open, and then we'll click program. Flashing new firmware will override the current firmware. So if you want to save whatever you've got on your device, there are other tutorials that can walk you through that. Continue. And now it's going to walk through that. Should be pretty quick, maybe 5 hopefully no more than 10 minutes, to write the official Meshtastic firmware to the Chatter 2. One thing I want to share that I learned in doing this process is that each one of these devices that you install Meshtastic on can only be affiliated with one phone device. I took this out with me just because I flashed it and I felt great about it, and I took it out with me to run some errands, and I had my phone connected to it, I had the settings configured, and I thought that I could then install the Meshtastic app on my partner's phone. They have an iPhone, and connect the iPhone Mestastic to the same device. Cannot be done. The way that these work is these are basically LoRa antennas for your phone. If phones had LoRa built in, wouldn't have a need for these. Right now, phones aren't thinking about these. They don't want to, at least not right now. So, one Mestastic device at a time can be paired with one phone companion, if that makes sense. So, once this second Chatter device is flashed with the Meshtastic, I'll walk you through some of the steps involved. You will need to change some settings on the device before you can utilize it with phones. And it's going to be region dependent too. But then because there's no built-in GPS and compass on these Chatter devices, and I don't currently have those modules to plug into the side pins, and also because of the LoRa chip, I read on that forum page that because it doesn't have built-in GPS, and if you don't have a GPS plugged into the side pins, you do have to change some settings so that it can receive messages, supposedly. This is according to the official Mestastic documentation. Here I see that we have finished flashing a device, and so what we can do, it says to run the firmware, please reset your device, and that is what we will do. So I'll show you on screen here. I'm going to turn it off on the side because it has a physical button. Physical switch, and then flip it back on. We'll see if it boots up. Oh, there's it. There it is, Meshtastic. It says, what does it say? Welcome to Meshtastic. Use the select button to open menus and make selections. So we click OK, and here it's going to ask for your region, as I mentioned. Here I'm in the US, so I'm going to select that. So we're going to set the set the LoRa region to US, which is where I am, and it's going to reboot. And it's going to reboot pretty much every time you make a major change to any of the major settings, for example, the region, because each region and country has its own legal restrictions for what bandwidth can be utilized without needing a license. So now we have two Meshtastic devices running on the Chatter devices, Chatter 2.0 devices that came in that box, which is kind of cool. I'm charging up this old Android phone I've got as a proof of concept to have two phones communicating with each other. It's an old phone I haven't touched in a while, so it's charging up as we speak. But while we're here on this device, let's look through some of the settings that need to be changed. I'm going to turn off the GPS on this one too, since it doesn't have a GPS plugged in right now. It's a little slow. You can hear the computer connecting and disconnecting the second Android phone that I'm trying to charge. So yeah, there it says no GPS present. And that can contribute to some lag, I think. So we're going to turn that off. I think we can do that in settings. We might not be able to, but we might be able to. I don't remember how I did it at the moment. I can't remember what each button is. Interestingly enough, the backspace button also works as a back button. In some instances, not all. I don't quite understand all that. Let me see. If I go to this and I go to GPS toggle, we can disable it on the device itself. And although it looks like, oh, it didn't reboot, which is cool. So I guess when you do that on the device, oh, there it is. See, US long fast. We want to change that because the LoRa chip does not have a GPS. Although I'm kind of suspicious of that, but based off of the forums, it said that one should change that to a different so we can do that here. Device, no, radio preset. We're gonna go to medium slow. Now it's gonna reboot. So now this device should be configured to work with a cell phone companion. So charge this up enough, and I guess I signed out of this account at some point. So what we can do is just go to the Meshtastic website. This phone is really slow, as you can tell. It was a track phone device that I purchased when I accidentally broke my Pixel. What am I typing? I'm typing Meshtastic is what I want to type. And when we go to that website, if it ever loads, page finally loads, go to downloads by tapping the top left menu, go to downloads, and if we go to apps, we'll see Android is available through the F-Droid or the Play Store. As we saw a second ago, my Play Store is messed up, but if we tap Android, it doesn't give me. It says side loading is also available. Let's see. I remember I did this earlier by going to docs. We're going to go to software and go to Android app, installation. I tried to install it on my Pixel using F-Droid because I have F-Droid on my Pixel, but for some reason it downloaded really slow, and I was connected to a T-Mobile hotspot at that point in the car. Turned off the Wi-Fi, and it still was struggling to install. And while it was installing through F-Droid, I managed to do it by sideloading it through GitHub. So we can get it on GitHub. And then you can scroll past the description and the release notes. And we go to app Google release.apk. It'll flag it as potentially harmful. I'm going to download it anyway because I live life on the edge. I think on this phone I enabled developer options and installation of APKs from the internet. Open it with package installer, always. I don't even know why my Cloud OS 5 would even be offered as an option. And my phone is getting hot while I'm recording. And sure enough, Chrome says that for my security, I have not allowed the installation of APKs from the internet. So I now enabled it. I'll click install. It's pretty quick on this phone. My Pixel was struggling through F-Droid, but then side loading it was pretty quick. From what I could tell by side loading it, I know this isn't technically side loading. Side loading technically would be connecting it to your computer and installing through the command line of your computer after installing the Android development tools on your computer. And it turns out in due time, Google will be getting rid of the ability to install APKs on your phone, as I'm doing now. Meshtastic is here. We are opening it. Here's the Meshtastic device. So it walks you through all the steps. It's pretty self-explanatory. You don't need to record that. Okay, so I did all the basic configuration settings, and let's see here. So now we need to connect a node. How do we do that? Well, we go here. We go to scan. It found it. That's what it's called. Yep, matches the name. So now it's going to pop up a code. Pair and connect. And then we're going to type the code, if this phone ever loads the keypad, 384674. My Pixel, this was kind of slow, and it actually had to generate a new code for the actual connection to go through. So in some ways, this old, slow phone, it's not even an old phone, this crappy phone actually works a little bit better than my Pixel in some regards. I think it's because I tried to install it through F-Droid, and then I installed it manually. Cool, now look, it's connected. So now we've got two phones running Meshtastic. Each of these chatter devices running Meshtastic. And let's see if we can get them to communicate with one another. So I got Meshtastic on both my devices, and I realized they weren't seeing each other because I literally had this one turned off. Once I turned it on, and then on my Pixel I opened up the Meshtastic app and sent a message, and funny enough, when I turned on this red one, the yellow one was able to see it, and it saw it, and everything was connected. And that beeping you heard was this second device that I just set up, saying that it has just received a message. And what does that look like? Let's see what that looks like. Looks like this. I sent a message that said, "Does this work?" And that's what it looks like. Does this work? I mean, that's kind of cool. Oops. So then we have some actions. What? It just restarted. It just rebooted by itself when I was trying to show you the options that appear. No messages anymore. I did notice there was a weird line through that message. And of course now, but on the phone, we can see, maybe not very well, but it showed up on the phone. So let me respond here. Heck yeah, it works. And now this red one's beeping. Alright, let's see if it works on here. So it looks like we're seeing the same thing. So we can dismiss it. You can see it says, heck yeah, it works, but it has a weird line running through the text. Don't know what that's about. You can dismiss that. On my Pixel phone, it pops up notifications. Look, on the chat it says, heck yeah, it works. So that's cool. We've got a Meshtastic running on two different devices. I mean, that's cool. That's really cool. Like, share, and subscribe. Circuit Mess, you go to their webpage. This is just a quick aside if you want to know how to restore your device to factory setting. The instructions come from the year 2022. At the back it says go to circuitmess.com/code, but that no longer seemingly no longer works. So what I've discerned is you have to scroll down to the bottom of their main website page, click on circuit block on the very bottom in the footer of the web page, and then we are looking for Chatter Red 2022. Click on any one of these, it doesn't matter. You will have to create an account if you've yet to create an account. And when you connect it, it'll pop up here, click connect. It might not like that I have two things connected to it at the same time, so I'm going to close this temporarily. Come back over here, we'll connect the chatter. Let me unplug and replug in. So we're going to unplug, replug. There it is. Now it pops up, click connect, and so now it's connected to the Circuit Mess web page. It says it's checking. That doesn't matter that MicroPython's not installed right now. This is just, if you want to restore it to stock firmware, you click this, you can click yes, and it'll do the whole restoration process. Now when I tap the map icon in the Meshtastic app, it shows where I am, Southern California. When I zoom in though, I wonder if it sees the other device on the map. Don't really know how this mesh map feature works within the app. I also don't know how it correlates or synchronizes with the publicly available mesh map that's available on the Meshtastic website. I don't know if it's because my phone is just hot or bad internet connection or what's going on, but it's not loading the map. It's all grainy. Maybe it's because of the type of map I've chosen. Yeah, I've got USGS Topo map. Let me switch to a On my Pixel, I have OpenStreetMaps, so it's loading the map properly. On this other phone, it's got Google Maps, and so when I tap the Maps icon, and on this phone, it's called a Blue. It loads Google Maps in the app. So yeah, we've got conversations happening between devices, and that's cool. One thing that remains a question for me is if these chatter devices, they're currently running off of AAA batteries. I foresee those AAA batteries running out of power very quickly, especially if it's heavy use. I don't know if it's powered, if it can be powered via USB-C. Let's try. If I plug it in, Windows recognizes it. I wonder if it's going to change the battery, or sorry, change the power source or not. But yeah, that is that. Like, share, and subscribe.